From Corolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, Adam Ferrara. With Gina Grad on news and Bald Brian on sound effects. And now, still waiting on a vaccine for feminine canine hydration disorder, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but any mandate. You get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you, right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
And Bald Brian.
Let's play some games.
All right, so Adam Ferrara is going to be in about a half hour or so. Very funny stand-up comedian, and I think American Top Gear host as well. I got some hot Love Boat clips.
Oh, good.
Oh,
I was
man.
getting worried it had been a while.
It had been a while. Speaking of been a while, it is hot today, but it's getting cold at night. And where I am up in the foothills, it's getting into the 40s at night. Oh, yeah. And swimming pool's getting cold, ladies and gentlemen. And I got in that pool this morning. It was, I think the water was about 55, and the outdoors was like 48 when I hit it. So I'm starting to
get like a hot tub.
Starting to get back into that world.
Do you ever go full cannonball?
No, I never do. I found that when you have a kind of a ritual, and the ritual, I think if there's anything that you don't want to do or that may have some pain involved with it, then a ritual is in order. In order for your brain to sort of hang on to something, and the cannonball doesn't work. The ritual is, it could if it was the ritual.
Right.
The ritual is walk down into the shallow end, do not spend too much time lingering, get your chest in quick. The more time you spend sort of standing in the shallow end with your balls going up into your cavity, the least comfortable it's going to be.
Your balls retreat for your brain.
Right. You literally get your chest in and start doing the breaststroke, and then get down to the deep end, and then sit in the deep end and try to even out. Just sit there and just even out. And when you feel you're even, then it's touch the drain and swim underwater back to the shallow end, and then you pop out. But
the second there's a thought that you could be getting comfortable, make it uncomfortable.
Right. But get even before. And, it's kind of interesting. All this stuff that always sounds like something, it's really nothing time-wise. Like Sonny, you'll be glad to know, is now eating a sunny side up egg for breakfast. So I made Sonny a nice egg for breakfast. I got him onto his eggs and off his bagels. So
that should be on your list, like with the knife between your teeth, all that stuff you want to do, diving in the body of water. Have a dish named after you at a restaurant. I thought of Sunny Side Up, obviously named after him, but have a dish named after you, or a sandwich at a sandwich joint, or something like that, or a Carney's dog.
Yeah.
Very good. One ace with bacon coming up.
That's right.
Well,
give me the ace.
We got bitter herbs, but I don't think they're talking. But they may be. I don't know. So
it's a drink. Yeah, it's just bitters.
I made but so here's the time thing that's funny. And you learn in radio. Well, the two things I've done in my life, radio and boxing, you really learn what 5 minutes is. It's a long time. You can cover a lot of ground in 5 minutes. Anyone in radio knows you probably have sex for one Inagata-Davida song. So Sonny's
trying to set a world record.
Sonny's sitting at the breakfast table. He's eating his sunny side up egg, and it's like 7:50. And he's going to start walking to school. They open the school. Well, I don't know if they open the school. They have shifts, and people are like, they told him to bring a camping chair. I guess he's going to be sitting out in the yard.
Can't you use the chair?
Okay, well, as long as he's out of the house, fine.
Yes, he's got somewhere to go. So it was 7:50. He was going to leave at 8. And I said, all right, Sonny, I'm going to take a dip in the pool. I'll see you before you leave. And he said, I'm leaving at 8. And I said, yeah, this is 3 minutes. Like it, but don't turn it into 18 minutes. Just do it. Just go plow in, go get it. You want to do it. You want to do it. It's 3 minutes. If you want to kind of sit and torture yourself and think about it, it'll be 20. So that was the first dip. Sonny got his sunny side up eggs, which is nice. School is sort of reopening. By the way, when one kid walks to school and the other child insists on being driven to school, it's exactly the same as driving both of them to school in terms of your effort goes. It's like, Love Boat. Oh, yeah. The Love Boat. I sit around at night. I film the TV and I send the clips to Dr. Drew. I send him texts of the Love Boat. And uniquely,
you're trying to talk a junkie down off the roof, and you get to text me.
Right. Uniquely Dr. Drew, because he's a physician and he's a child of the 70s, and he just cannot believe the activity on that boat. And in the last episode, I marvel at Dr. Bricker on the boat, pouring highballs and chasing the skirts and stuff. But now I found some footage from the last night's episode that I believe takes a cake, because now he's got two ladies, okay? And let me explain the premise. And also, you have to think about this through the lens of a sociologist. The premise is they're having a marriage cruise, and they need judges to pick out the best couple to win the grand prize.
Sure.
And it starts by them going to the doc and saying, "Doc, do you want to be a judge for this marriage competition?" And he goes, "Oh, please, no. I don't want to have to be burdened with that. What a waste of time.
I don't mess with the attached ladies."
Right. So I don't want to deal with that. So, okay. But then, of course, in true sitcom consistency, of course, the two other judges are a hot blonde and a hot brunette.
Oh, now
we're talking. Yeah.
By then, Gopher had slid in and agreed to be the judge. It was Ann Gillian and Marianne from Gilligan's Island. So they got the hot blonde and the hot brunette, right? So now Gopher has slid in. So now we have the three judges. We have Gopher, we have Ann Gillian, and we have the chick from Gilligan's Island.
Does he? Oh God, he doesn't chloroform Gopher, does he?
Pretty close. So first off, I don't understand the conceit, but both girls are there to make out with Gopher or whoever the middle judge is to try to sway them over to their side, but it's unclear what their side is.
What's in it for them?
Nothing.
Yeah. Have you ever cared about anything that much?
Well, also, presumably, they're just three judges. Why do they need to look at it her way or her way? We're all just going to judge. We're probably all just going to arrive on the same couple. But anyway, yeah, Don Wells and Ann Gillian. So
wasn't Ann Gillian in It's a Living?
Yeah, or one of those things where they worked at the restaurant, the revolving restaurant up on the road.
Exactly.
She was really hot for a while. So they get the blonde and they get the brunette. Now, the blonde and the brunette have nothing to do in this episode other than hang on the middle judge, although, again, it's unclear what they want from him, but they're both just completely whoring themselves out. And again, through the eyes of a sociologist, like, how did we think of women in 1980? You know what I mean? Like, who are these people? I don't even know their names. There's no backstory. There's nothing. They're simply there as sexual objects.
Yeah, they're simply plot devices. Like, presumably in real life, they would be women on a cruise looking to have fun or relax or spend time with their girlfriends. But no, they're just there as plot devices.
And also, up sex creatures.
They'll whore themselves out to Gopher or Doc, whoever is in between them.
In the middle.
Any port in a storm.
So they're going through some Curacao, maybe. I can't remember. They're going to some place around the Panama Canal. And Doc is tired of Gopher getting all the trim, right? So Doc sends Gopher ashore. When they're there, he says, go ashore and go get me all this medicine. I need all this medicine. And he goes, okay. And when he goes ashore, then the Doc slides in between the two of them. Now, the doc.
Naturally.
Now, of course, Gopher is talking to everyone about medicine. He's just walking along the pier like, I need medicine. And the guy's like, no one understands what he's saying. He's like, I need drugs. And they go, drugs? And then they arrest him. So he goes to the pokey. So he's now locked up there. Now, he's innocent man, but they don't believe him. They've locked him up. Now, Doc slides in, and the scene I'm going to show you is Doc topside, leaning against the railing with both the ladies when Isaac comes up and he's concerned. And it's funny, Drew was like, Isaac was concerned about him making out. I was like, Isaac wasn't concerned about him making out with the two ladies on the deck of the ship. He was concerned that Gopher had not returned. But let's see how Doc handles it. All right, we'll play the clip.
We hope you enjoyed your stay in Curacao. Next stop, the Panama Canal.
So Doc's going to be topside, leaning against the railing, making out with both chicks.
Can I see you for a minute?
Excuse me.
Leaves his ladies.
Isaac, how can you take me away from such a beautiful sight?
You see Curacao again?
I'm talking about the girls.
Doc, I didn't see Gopher get back on the ship.
Oh, relax. I'm sure he's around. He's probably off moping somewhere because I stole those judges from him.
Now watch this part.
Kids.
He makes out with one, turns, and starts making out with the other. All right.
Are we to presume these two women have nothing better to do than judge this contest and stay with the other judge the entire time?
They were making out with Gopher 10 minutes ago. Now they're making... This is the ship's doctor in uniform on the top deck of the ship, leaning over the railing, just making out with the two chicks.
He's got to be the luckiest actor on earth. And by the way, you know what else seems very odd? I'm sure more to Brian and I than you, but just because it seems so incredibly out of place. Something with zero, it couldn't possibly have a studio audience, and there's a laugh track.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, like out in the middle of, wherever, and there's a laugh track.
I grew up on cartoons with laugh tracks, so I understand all about laugh tracks where they're physically incapable of actually, where there's no audience. So it was a great example of Doc making out with everyone on the deck. He had two ladies this time. The other thing that I would...
Wait. What happened to Gopher?
Yeah, did we ever get Gopher?
He never got out. He was locked. They got all the way through the Panama Canal, and he was still locked in this prison.
Oh, poor
He's in a
Gopher.
Panamanian prison.
Yes. So the other part I told you guys about, and I was really having this conversation with Drew today, which is about going to the proverbial railing of life, just sort of looking over the railing. And I thought that if I just gazed longingly out a window long enough, that my woman of my dreams would come up and tap me on the shoulder, because it was the premise of every movie and every TV show. And on the Love Boat, whenever they would go to the railing, whenever you just sit and stare off the railing thinking about the love that you had lost, she would always spot you within 18 seconds. See if you can recognize Donnie Most. By the way,
Ralph Malph?
From Happy Days with a full 70s mustache and big Jufro. He's staring longingly over the railing. And, God, what's her name? Charlene Tilton comes up to him. But go ahead. Sorry. There he is, moping at the railing for all of 4 seconds. And then she spots him moping at the railing. I told you guys I wanted to build a railing in my bedroom in North Hollywood so I could just mope over something and then have someone come up and rescue me from my despair.
Hi. Is Israel taken?
Well, I was sort of saving it for an old friend.
Oh, Marv, I owe you an apology. I know the whole story now.
Emily, listen.
No, please. I doubted you, and I never should have.
Emily.
You're the most decent guy I've ever known in my entire life.
Emily, please. If you don't let me get this out now, I may never get it out. I love you. I always have.
All right. Also, the very flawed theme that the nerdy friend and not the gigolo buddy gets the women. So there's two things that were
hot.
There's two things that were shoved at me, which is nerdy friend always ends up with the hot chick. He doesn't begin with the hot chick, but he ends up with the hot chick, like Mask or something.
End,
right. And that if you just hang over some railing and give like a 3,000-yard stare, eventually the hot chick will come to you.
Penny for your thoughts.
0 for 2. But the conversation I had with Drew, which was kind of funny, is he said, yeah, it was really beat into his head that if you sat and moped long enough, like on your bed or whatever, somebody would come in. The person you were moping about would somehow magically show up. Yes.
And guess who hates that shit? Girls.
Yeah. They hate mopers.
It's like poison looking at that.
Yeah. So anyway, a classic episode with great scenes of Doc making out with two chicks and my gaze rail mope thing, which again, you never have to be there for more than 30 seconds. All right, let's see. Somebody's got a question. It is Sam, 34 from Bakersfield. Sam.
Hi, Adam. Thank you for all these years of entertainment.
Hi, Guy.
Gina, Hi, Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Gina, you're definitely one of the first ballot Hall of Fame top 3 used girls of all time.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very kind.
You know, there you go. My question is, we fans know that you went from high school to cleaning carpets, and then from cleaning carpets to digging ditches and construction.
Yes.
But we also know that you've always been a big car guy.
Yes.
And loved them since a kid. So my question is, how come you didn't go into the car repair field, car modifying arena, even if it's just Jiffy Lube, where you could be close to cars and, you know, start from there and then build your way up to Jay Leno's garage someday? How come that never happened?
Jiffy Lube being next to cars because you're enthusiasts, like saying, you love the ladies, why don't you get a job at a methadone clinic?
New lady every day.
Yeah, man.
She's got to have it.
So here's where we're at now versus where we were in 1982, 1983. We were having a very bad economy, and jobs were very scarce, and you did not get to choose what you did. You had to find a job. There was no, here's what I want to do, or here's where my interests lie, or here's my muse, or any of that. That was not factored in. You had to get a job, not the job, not anything you wanted to do, just a job. Now, once the economy gets a little bit better and things change and stuff like that, you can start picking and choosing, you know, what you want to do. I knew nobody in any field of any kind, automotive or not, and construction labor isn't really a construction job. It's the de facto job that you do when you can't get another job. So the reason all the Latins who come here from Mexico and Central America and South America end up doing construction labor is not because they're good at construction labor or love construction labor. It's the de facto grunt job for people that don't have jobs. And I took the de facto grunt job for people who didn't have jobs because there weren't any other jobs. And I was in that category. I was in the category of, you know, uneducated, no skill set, and had to take whatever was there, and that's whatever's there. I think people think construction is like some sort of trade or a calling or work with your hands. It's really not. It's just poor people with shitty parents who don't have any money showing up somewhere, and eventually you get a little skill set, couple of tools, and a truck, and next thing you know, that's your business. But that's how it all begins. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you ever do any handyman work? You must have at some point, right? Because you're just kind of knowledgeable on a lot of little things.
Handyman is to carpenter what chiropractor is to physician.
Well, I'm sure once you became a carpenter, you didn't do any more handyman work. But in those ensuing, 6 years or whatever?
I would get weird little odd jobs about I backed into my mailbox. Can you cement the post back into my lawn? Stuff that wasn't particularly glamorous, A lot of painting jobs, a lot of... but I wasn't like troubleshooting toasters or doing anything like that. I was doing a lot of... I would work during the week, and then on weekends I would get these odd jobs. But the problem is at the beginning, as I recall, I rode a motorcycle. So I was trying to ride my motorcycle with a sack of cement sitting on the tank of the motorcycle.
Sounds like a metaphor.
And it really
That's some
is.
third world stuff right there.
I could kind of do it. I did a mailbox job. I rode out to Sun Valley on my motorcycle with a sack of cement, probably 60 pounds.
On his head from the river.
on my tank. I just laid it across my tank and put it between my legs. I put my tool bag, I would buckle my tool bags and then sling them and hang them around my neck. So I could sort of bandolero as style, and I could get stuff done that way. So I did odd jobs on the weekends. Some of them fell into the handyman sort of category, and then it would be back to the job site on Monday morning. Let's see. We have the Newsom story. He was eating at the restaurant. He had
French Laundry.
The restaurant.
The restaurant. He offered a sort of an apology. He was explaining today that he was invited somewhere. I like when people have to break down they have to do it's like saying, I want to apologize for drunk driving. It's like, I woke up in the morning. I had my oatmeal. It's like, yeah, okay, let's get to the part where you hit the kid at the crosswalk. Like, he's like, we got an invitation, my wife and I. This was a dear friend. By the way, it's always funny. It's funny, too, but it's like, you can't tell us what a good friend he is, Newsom. We're talking about Thanksgiving here. We understand he's a good friend.
We understand good friends.
Right.
My mom's not coming for the first time in 10 years, but tell me about your buddy.
Right. They went in. He was. There were more people than he'd anticipated. Then he sat down, and by the way, he should have never sat down. He should have stood up and left.
So give a good day.
But he did not get up and leave. He stayed and had his. I don't know. You ate there, Brian. How good is that place?
It's fucking spectacular. It's overpriced, of course, but you're paying for the experience, and of course, world class food. It's amazing. I don't know what it'd be like with a large group. It was just me and Christy, but it's fantastic.
But
although he's rich. Hold on a second. Sorry, Jeannie. He's rich, and he owns a winery group in Napa, so I have to imagine he's been there a dozen times.
Oh, yeah. They know his order. Did you do the eating menu for two or whatever? Because I think
that's all they offer. That's all they offer. It's just that they just bring you food. It's like 12 courses or something like that.
Would you say, you don't have to say exactly, but from the research I did, would you say that if someone said that was around $850 a person, that would be a true or false statement?
At the end of the day, also included tax and tip and the wine pairing, which you have to do. Come on. Yes, it's about right.
Hoofa.
Yeah.
So it's two people, $1,700.
In that neighborhood, yeah. It was a bucket list. We did it once. I don't know that we'll ever do it again, but it was Christy's 40th, and that's it.
Well, it's no shame, and enjoy yourself.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. We are just going to keep bringing you food, and you shall enjoy it, or we're just going to offer this set menu and bring you stuff. In my experience, it's either been the best or the worst. It's either been fantastic or half the things I didn't like.
It's all fantastic. It's a little, if I'm being brutally honest, it's a little highfalutin. A lot of deconstructed things, a lot of, and it's all very, very, very small. You're not, at the end of the 12 courses, we were satisfied and full, but it wasn't like, bursting at the seams. It was like, that was nice. Let's take a walk. So walk this off.
I remember when I did that up in wine country, I think, with Jimmy. Jimmy took me and Danny Two Sheets and Dickie the Bosstones all to this great resort for our 50th birthday. And we had that whole thing, and they were just bringing stuff out, and no one knew what was or what is. And Cousin Sal picked up the salt plate. There's one thing was like offered on a plate,
a bed of like Himalayan sea salt.
She picked it up and tried to eat the salt, which is like something that falls off the side of a volcano.
Was it Meadowood? Because they're famous for that, and they do that kind of course thing. I don't know if that's where you went or not, but that's a famous resort that does that kind of meal.
I don't know. Look up Meadowood, and maybe that was it. We landed at the Charles Schultz Airport, and I was immediately angry because I hate Charles Schultz.
I've flown out of there.
I find him to be overrated. Gloria, 37, Illinois.
Yeah, get it on, guys. I can't believe I'm talking to you.
Get it on, Gloria.
Thank you. I was just thinking, I've thought this ever since I had my daughter's a little older than Tessa. Were your parents, did they treat your kids any differently when they were little? Like, I can't imagine grandparents not being just, over the moon and doting. And I don't know. I think I know the answer to the question, but it's just always baffled me.
My parents with my kids when they were real young?
Or do they treat them like they treated you?
Yeah, they're probably a little bit better, but still them. You know what I mean? Like not. They're still them, but they did a little better. I think people mellow with age. I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, so they weren't bad. They're kind of hands offy, but they were fine.
Do they give presents?
But not normal.
Christmas presents?
Maybe a little bit, back in the day, but obviously not so much these days. And
okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, they're all right. I mean, they're not really. They weren't really meant to be parents or grandparents or I don't know, possibly humans, but they're just sort of around. They're kind of looking out for themselves.
Speaking of mellowing with age, Gloria, I have a question for you. Are your kids' grandparents, i.e. your parents and your in-laws, mine are doting, they spoil Tessa, everything grandparents should do. But it's fun once in a while to watch them discipline her because, she's a 4-year-old. She'll get out of control. She'll yell, she'll whatever. And they'll snap back into parent mode. Do your parents ever do that?
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying, but not like I would do. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And I appreciate when they do something. So I don't want her to get away with murder.
Me too.
Yeah, it's still, it is. It's fun to see. But
thanks, Gloria.
I don't know.
Appreciate the question.
Thank you.
Yeah, my mom and stepdad did a lot of babysitting on my nephews when they were younger, which is nice. The babysitting part. Do not sleep on the babysitting part, especially when they're young. All right, let me tell you about Sling TV. Tired of huge cable bills? Want to cut the cord? Worried about missing your favorite shows? I don't know, like Love Boat? Sling TV. Same top cable channels for as little as half the price, plus over 50,000 on-demand shows and movies. Make the smart choice and save. Switch to Sling TV. You won't miss a thing. Except that giant cable bill. Sling has millions of subscribers and starts at only $30 a month for top 30 channels. Plus, they offer bundles. You can get your local channels for free, so you can save even more. Make the smart choice, everybody, and switch to Sling TV. Get the best cable for the best price. It's easy to switch and save. Learn more at slingtv.com/Adam. That is Sling TV/Adam. Speaking of Adam Ferrara, very funny comedian and a good guy all around, is on hold, and we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Adam right after this.
It didn't matter how insignificant. Everything was a tragedy. It was like growing up in an opera. It was like, you took my keys. You took my keys. I know you took my keys. I did not. I did not. I did not.
The toilet's clogged. Again.
Bring me the plunger, I will fix it. Get it yourself, I am not your slave. I will plunge a toilet, I will plunge a toilet. What do I see? It's my key.
Adam Ferrara is on the Adam Carolla Show.
That's from the stand-up album. It's Scary in Here, available on Spotify, Pandora, and anywhere you get music. Debuted #1 on iTunes. So congratulations, Adam Ferrara.
Thank you, pal. Good to be back. Brian, Gina, how is everybody?
So good to see you.
Where did you record the album?
We did it at Gotham in New York before all this happened. And they said, hey, listen, you want to get it out? I go, I'm not doing anything. Why not? So...
I'm looking down the thing. Yeah, we always talk about you doing American Top Gear for all those years with Faust, Tanner Faust, and Rutledge Wood, two of the just nicest guys you could ever really. But by the way, between the three of you, that is a great, easygoing crew. Aren't nice people so much easier?
Here's the thing. I mean, I had a Hammond on my podcast, and I asked him. I said, you guys really seem to get along.
Richard Hammond.
Richard Hammond. Yeah, he goes
from UK Top.
UK Top. Yeah, the mothership. Because we, for those of you who don't know, we were the American version of that show, and you did the show, so you got to be close because you're all travel together. It's a family. And I said, you guys really seem to get along. He goes, oh mate, you have to. You live together. We're either going to do that or we're going to fucking kill each other. So
that's a good Richard Hammond. Yeah. Man, that'll get your dick sucked at a sorority party. All the 19-year-old chicks, pussies getting wet. Hey, did you hear this guy's Richard Hammond?
It is dead on.
It's dead nuts on. You close your eyes, you think he's in the room.
He's got two of my favorite cars too. He's got a '68 390 fastback, the Bullet car.
Oh, the Bullet car, the Steve McQueen, yeah.
Except he's got it painted blue with white stripes.
Weird, but okay.
And he's got a 61 E-Type Jag.
Ooh. Richard Hammond is the guy who got in a rocket car, and they were going to try to see what it was like at 250 miles an hour in a rocket car, and then he got into a horrible accident, and I mean, he got messed up. Well, he got messed up commensurate with crashing at 250 miles an hour in a rocket car.
Yeah.
Then he got in a super electric car, like a crazy electric car, and then got into another crazy accident in the crazy electric car, the $2 million electric car, and just burnt it down till there was nothing left but the rims.
Yeah, it was a Chevy Volt.
No, what was it? What was that thing?
I have to remember. But it was. I think it was in Sweden. I don't recall the car, but I think it was in Sweden. And the reason I said Chevy Volts because they're recalling them because the batteries are blowing up.
But it shows you, and I've showed you guys Jay Leno and Hemi under glass doing a wheelie and then rolling. Like when you're sitting at home and you're watching it, you're sitting at home and watching it. But at some point when you're doing it, you are doing it. Like that thing they're doing. When you're in a rocket car, you're in a rocket car. The rocket car doesn't care if you're an actor or rich or anything. If a tire blows, tire blows.
I had to get my drag license just so I look good in evening gown. I had to get my drag license because we did an episode at the Gator National.
Right.
So you got to get a license. You just can't get in it because it's not like a car. I mean, there's a trans brake. There's a throttle, but you basically just rev it up. Until like $8-9 grand, and then you release the trans brake, and it's like getting shot out of a cannon, and it's just like the Millennium Falcon. Gina, the edges go.
Thank you.
The edges go blurry.
Helpful.
And all kinds, and I'm being thrown back, and you question all your decisions, like what the fuck am I doing here? And you're just holding on. So I had to do that, and like you said, that's low 11s was 100 and what's that? 120 hour.
11's in the quarter mile, although it's not the quarter mile anymore. It's 1,000 feet. The quarter mile is too dangerous, so they shortened it a little bit. But I don't know. Yeah, low 11's got 120, 125 miles an hour.
That's instant torque, so it just throws you right back. I have a car question for Gina because my wife does this, and I don't know if it's common to all.
Oh God.
Do you have a Subaru last week?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have a seat heater?
Yes.
Okay. I come back. I go to the store. I come out. My wife's waiting in the car, and she's got the air conditioning blasting and the seat heater on.
Oh She might be a genius.
Is that common?
I haven't pulled that move, but I respect it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I said, honey, are you hot or are you cold? She said, I'm comfortable. I said, okay. Well, the two fronts just met in the car and it's raining in our back seat.
She wants her butt warm and her face chilly.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah, I think so. That's brilliant. I can't put the seat heater on because one time I accidentally did it and I didn't realize it. And I was driving to meet friends and I was getting like hot and like kind of uncomfortable. And I pulled over and called them and said, I can't go. I think I have a fever. And I turned around. I was like, "Oh, God damn it! Yeah. I don't like all the seat heat and the warm.
I love it. I set mine on menopause. I like it so fucking hot.
You got the steering wheel heater?
Yeah, well, the steering wheel heater is uncontrollable. Sometimes it's on and sometimes it's off. I have no idea how to turn it on and off, so that's just catch as catch can. But it's interesting. So maybe we can do this. And by the way, your wife needs to date one of those Hollywood hipster directors who wears the tight T-shirt and a scarf.
Yeah.
Because that's the hot and the cold guy, right? The scarf and a tight T-shirt. But this is it's kind of a salty and sweet thing for me. Like I like the contrast. I like the feeling of the hot rump with the cold air. I won't put it on a hot day or whatever, but I do like that kind of contrast. The thing about the seat heater, you can divide this country on that because I can't tell you how many times as a courtesy move I've turned it on for the passenger when they go, turn it off. Like they get weird about it. Like we're not having anal sex. I'm just warming your cockles a little bit.
You up.
Yes.
I'm disappointed in you. I always thought we were team air conditioner because last night Andy put the heat on before we went to sleep. I was like, no. Turn it off. I don't want to wake up in a sweltering inferno.
I am team air conditioner, but I realized I am team contrast. I want the yin and the yang, the salty and the sweet. Do you think we could divide this country into pro seat heater versus don't care for it and boiled versus grilled hot dogs?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there's any correlation between the grillers and the seat warmers or vice versa.
Depends where the hot dogs go once the rump is heated.
Yeah. I'm a grilled dog guy, and I'll do the seat heater.
A grilled dog seat heater.
I'm grilled dog, no seat heater.
Okay.
So I guess that's right. About, every 3 out of 4 people will probably agree.
I am steamed dog. I like the snap of the casing. That's and then the rush of the juice. But I like them grilled too. But steamed dog, seat heater. But when you're at that sorority and you're doing your spot on Richard Hammond thing, you do. And then, hey, ladies, you didn't think it could get better? Grilled dog, seat heater.
Where am I grilled?
Come on now, ladies.
Where are you on seat massager? They gave me a Lincoln Aviator. I drove it up to Sonoma. And they had a seat massager, and I had it on the whole way.
My thing is
distracting?
I put it on my ass.
It's one thing to fall asleep while you're driving. It's another thing to come. And that I don't blame the people that fall asleep.
Well, I think one happens first, and then
then you hit your refractory period around Baker, and cruise right through the Bun Boy. Right.
Put on the recycled air. I smell the cow shit. It's ruining the moment.
Yeah. I like all that the seat can do. I like the massage seat, the heat seat, the cool seat, the vent seat, the steering, the heater and the wheel. Yeah. I like it. And I also like it because I like anything that says we're pretty fucking soft, pampered, and comfortable, but we could be softer and more comfortable. What if we put a massager in the steering wheel? You know what I mean? Like we just keep going in the personal comfort department, right?
Yep, more stuff. I want a seat heater in a Humvee, in a military Humvee.
Think about.
I'm sure they would too.
Think about just things like I was thinking about, like when I was think about this. Think about these things in terms of comfort or pleasure.
Yeah.
Think about coolers. When I was growing up, if you had a cooler, it was made of styrofoam.
Yep.
It had a big chunk taken out of the side of it where someone kicked it once after the Rams lost or whatever. It was a weird top that hurt your teeth when you tried to fit it on top because it made a horrible squeaking sound. All you had in the cooler department was literally a styrofoam cooler. They'd have a medium one and a large one. And then later on, if there was some family you knew who were like professional outdoorsmen or fishermen or something, they'd have a hard Coleman one. But that's about as far as it goes. Now there's 750,000 different kinds of coolers, right?
We're in the age of the Yeti.
Right.
That's right.
There's backpack ones. There's put the
cooling
brick,
bags.
put the back. There's a million. We had one cooler. That was it. It was styrofoam. It had a rope on it. It was styrofoam with a rope on it.
You don't even have to go high end. Trader Joe's has the space bags, with the insulation for $6. They hang them on the wall next to the register.
Gina, this one's for you, but devices to bring the ladies pleasure.
Okay.
The adult toy world, the entire thing. You would go to the Army surplus store in 1974. You'd buy a styrofoam cooler and one of those weird white vibrating wand things,
The Army surplus store.
From Parenthood. Yeah.
Oh, they had them from Parenthood. They had them at the Army surplus store in North
It's an
Hollywood.
electric ear
It was a drawing of a woman in a negligee putting it on her neck. Like, such an intense
Personal
day at the
massager.
office.
That's where it goes.
Right. Now there's 750,000 different rabbit ears and bunny ears and yes.
I hear there's Bluetooth.
Oh, there is everything, Gina. All I'm saying is we just had, what did we have in terms of transporting liquid? We had a fucking thermos and a Boda bag. That was it. There wasn't all the spun aluminum.
Transport it. We would play outside and drink from a hose.
Oh, yeah.
I remember having to disconnect the lawn sprinkler. The hose, the one that went like this back and forth.
Yeah, the Rainbird.
The Rainbird. Disconnect that, drink out of the hose, and hook up the Rainbird again.
Yeah, the Boda
bike pedaling home.
The Boda bag was an excellent invention. It was like, do you like wine? Yes. Do you like the taste of leather in your wine? I don't know. Well, then this is for you. Like if you ever pour a glass of wine and go, it's good, but not leathery enough. Yeah. I'm not tasting enough cow.
I can't taste the hide. Yeah.
Right.
I need that horse finish on my Cabernet. The coolest guy, remember the coolest guy when I was a kid working on a construction site, the coolest guy was the guy that had the little igloo thermos rather than a lunchbox or a bag. Remember
I'll tell you, the coolest guy on a construction site was the guy who had the shorty, the punk little thermos, the short thermos with stew in it. That guy was the winner of the construction site. Like I was eating generic Triscuits and trying to peel an orange with my teeth, and this guy had the stew.
Yeah. Served out of the cup with the little handle on it.
Yeah. That was one of those moments when you're 23 and you go, maybe I should get married.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get some stew instead of this fucking box of raisins I brought with me.
Yeah. I'd like some stew. That's why you get married.
There was something novel about...
Till death stew us part.
There's something novel about eating like hot, normal food on a construction site. Adam, didn't you say your dad was in the trades, right? He was plumber?
Did kitchens and bathrooms and plumbing and stuff, so I would work for him. And then I would work at a fence company. We would install fences and sheds and stuff. So I'm digging in people's backyards. And invariably, you're going to dig up like a dead pet, and I had, so there's bones flying because I had an auger. I graduated to work with, there was a guy, Billy, who was an older guy, the guy with the stew.
Was it a gas-powered auger?
Yeah. So I had to pull start.
Right.
You
guys see that, the giant drill bit, and you hold it, and you just... you fence.
So you go down into that. Next thing you know, there's bones flying up. People are crying, Fluffy! They come running out, and you're apologizing and have to change the line of the fence.
Does having a lot of shitty jobs make you appreciate what you do now?
Yeah. Oh, definitely, because I was never good at them. I mean, we had this discussion before. I don't have that if-then-go-to statement, especially with cars. I can change the oil. I can gap a spark plug, maybe smack the solenoid to get the starter to crank over. But after that, I don't have the mechanical ability. So I'm just grateful that I get to do this because I'd stop if I had to do something with my hands.
We did a survey here. The seat heaters, 3 yes, 5 no.
All right.
Now, is that just 5-0 during the winter time and stuff?
No, don't have it.
Just don't like it. We can't hear you, Chris.
Don't care for it.
We can't hear you, Chris. So,
they said we just asked if they like it. They said no, they don't like it. They don't prefer it.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
What's when it's cold? Nothing better. I took the.
Although Dawson did say that he's never used one or he's never been around one.
All right. So. Could you imagine the feeling of your rump being warm, though, Dawson? Do you think that'd be agreeable?
In this climate, I don't see the point. If we were living in winter weather, sure,
I live in the foothills. I left my car outside last night. By the way, it gets a lot colder if you don't bring it in the garage. Anyway, I took my daughter to school at 8 a.m. We got in the car, and it was goddamn freezing in that car. All right.
I don't know if this is where we separate on the heat seater. For me, it's not the rump, which is nice. It's the lower back. Oh, melted butter. Melted butter.
Lumbar support in your seat?
On the driver's side, yes, but the extra heat is just beautiful. Perfect.
I think Brian said heat seater, and that's why I'm always scared to bring it up, because I can't say seat heater three times without saying heat seater.
Don't replay the tape, and certainly don't get the audio from Brian.
I'll fix it. I'll fix it in post.
Hot dogs here. There's 4 grilled, 4 boiled. So we split the room. All right.
Aren't those called rippers? The steamed or boiled or whatever?
Well, I guess it's how you want your hot dog. I don't know. I love Chicagoan style. That's my favorite style of dog, and that just comes poached. It's not a grilled style, so that's my thing. But
I'm seeing Ripper.
See, I like the grill because you split them down the middle. You got a place to put whatever you want to put, the mustard or whatever you want to put in there is right in the dog itself.
I'm saying Ripper is a hot dog that's deep fried in oil, which causes the casing to burst or rip.
Oh.
All right. I should. So, Adam, you grow up, your dad's got the business, you do it, you learn you hate it, which is good. It's good. That's all I want for my kids. Like, go do something for a summer that you despise so you can have some sort of contrast.
He wasn't good at it. There was no like, because he was so good at it and he could fix a car. He could do that stuff. And you'd come in with a problem, you'd leave happy, and Dad was your hero. I couldn't do it, so there was no feedback, That's why when I got laughs the first time, I'm like, oh, I can do this.
I'm not calling your dad a hack, but
okay.
Everybody thinks their dad is really good. He could fix anything. He could do anything. As a guy who's worked on many houses that other dads have worked on before I got there, I can tell you they're not all heroes.
Right. No, my father had a business, so he went in and he did the same thing you did. He fixed the stuff. He did kitchens.
But he cut corners. He gouged the elderly. I'm just saying.
He's a pro.
He's a pro. Did he make a pretty good living doing that when you were growing up?
Yeah, we ate. We ate and we had more comforts than we were in a neighborhood where I could see how good we were doing. And then the rich kids' neighborhood is where we went for trick-or-treating because you got the full-size candy bars, and that's where we saw the imported cars, and that's where I saw my first Jag, an XJ6, and I went, wow. And it was always there because the electrical system was fried.
Right.
So I was right in the middle of that neighborhood, so I could see where we were, and I could appreciate what we had.
I miss the days when you could really gauge someone's success by the car they drove. And not even the car, just the make. Like, he's got a Mercedes-Benz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like a big deal, or a Cadillac. Yeah. Like, you knew so much. You can do it now with Ferrari and Lamborghini and maybe Porsche, but underneath that,
First of all, they don't look the same now.
Right.
Everything looks, but my father, Adam, this was the thing. My mother always drove a Cadillac because that was a sign of respect for my mom. A Cadillac was very important to my dad because he's an old Italian. That's what they do. It was a reward for a life well read. So,
are your parents still with us?
My mom is. My dad passed away, but and the cars were never new. I took my driver's test in a 70 Coupe de Ville that my mother burnt out the back seat because she flicked a cigarette out the window.
Yeah.
We thought it went out. It didn't. It went in the back seat overnight.
Yeah.
We woke up in the morning and there's smoke coming out of the car. Like black smoke. So I'm looking out the window. I'm like, well, no Pope yet. Black smoke is just coming out of the car. And my father and I went back. We ripped the back seat out of the car, and we realized we could get lengths of half-inch pipe from the trunk through the brace where the back seat used to go between the two seats and underneath the dashboard. So then that became the plumbing truck, and I would haul I would haul pipe and stuff to the jobs in a 70 Coupe de Ville. Pop the trunk, pull lengths of pipe out.
That's got to be one of the largest vehicles to take a driver's test in ever. I mean, that car is 22 feet long. That is as big. Cadillac was probably at the height of their sort of full-figured size in 1970. How long was a Coupe de Ville? Caddy kept getting bigger, and then they started getting smaller. But in
77, they got smaller with the Seville.
Right.
The 76 was, I jumped the 76 Coupe de Ville on the show.
Oh, and really?
It was 5,000 pounds. I got this big thing 40 feet in the air, and it saved my life because when I landed, the whole front clip bent up, and there was no safety measures. Tanner pulled the seat back and put it under the headrest and said, "You'll be fine."
But Adam, that's impressive and all, and that's cute. Mm-hmm. But you should try parallel parking that son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
That's where you get street cred.
Yeah, I had to on the road and there was so much distance from the back wheel to the end of the bumper. I was knocking garbage cans off the sidewalk.
Yeah, it's about 18 and a half feet long, I think is what it is. It's 225 inches, so 240 would be 20.
It's 18 3/4.
18 3/4 long. So that's a lot. Also, nobody... kids don't give a shit about their driver's license anymore. I was counting the days till I could get my driver's license.
Me too, because now it's like the world comes into us, and the world comes in through the computer. We had to go out to find the world out there. So I couldn't wait to get out and get my driver's license.
Yeah, I got mine right. Well, a little after I failed driver's ed. So once again,
Did you pass the road test the first time?
I failed driver's ed in high school. So my second semester in the 10th grade was you'd take driver's ed for your second semester, and then you would turn 16 at the end of the second semester going into the summer. And so you'd have your driver's ed. Anyway, I failed driver's ed. So I could not get my driver's license when I got out of the 10th grade. I had to go take a private school. I just go
take get tutored.
There are all these stupid things in the phone book about 3 days driving academy, 2 days in class instruction. Like, by the way, here's what you learn about school: everything that took them 5 months can be condensed into 3 days. When you go, as soon as you fucking get into the private sector, it's like, hey, that shit that took you 14 weeks, we're doing 1 weekend. One weekend.
Yeah. You just get it done with people. The best thing is my father was in the Army, and they said, you got to clean your rifles and be inspected before you can go on leave. He just went out and he ran the motor pool. He just went out and did whatever he had to do. 5 minutes before he had to go out on leave, he turned his rifle in to be inspected. He went, good. They didn't even look at it because they wanted to go home too.
Right.
Yeah.
So Adam, sorry. Stand up. What's your schedule like? I know you're going to be in Cleveland. I know you're being in Arlington, Virginia.
I got Cleveland December. Hold on, let's go to the big board. Hilarities in Cleveland December 10 through 12, and the Arlington Draft House December 18, 19, and I'll be in St. Louis for New Year's at the Helium.
Are you making dates? I mean, obviously you're making dates, but have you been out there? Have you been traveling?
Yeah, I was in. I did a tent gig in Pennsylvania. They set up this big tent. Mm-hmm. It was the Soul Joel's gig. Did you see where Big J, some guy attacked Big J on stage, Big J Okerson?
No, I didn't see that. No. Is it on the internet?
It was on the internet. Someone reached out and grabbed his leg and pulled him down. And
really?
So, yeah.
Just drunken fan?
Just drunken stuff,
I don't.
So naturally, I did the gig after him.
Right. Well, look for that clip there, Max Spatter.
Yeah.
Let me hit Axon Taser here for a second. 2020 feels unstable and dangerous. Do not live in fear. Taser, by the way, protect yourself, life-saving self-defense technology. Taser's non-lethal self-protection devices are small enough to carry with you in your purse or glove box or compartment, but powerful enough to incapacitate an attacker. Guns have unnecessary risks, and even pepper spray can harm you as much as the attacker. Taser products are safer and easier to use. Electric charge immobilizes attackers for up to 30 seconds, giving you time to escape and sends emergency services to your GPS location upon firing. Protect yourself and your family with Taser's smart self-defense products, the number one choice of law enforcement agencies. Right, Dawson?
Taser is available without a permit in most U.S. states. Get the Taser Pulse Plus or the Taser Strike Light at Taser.com with promo code Adam. Save 15% now at Taser.com, promo code Adam, spelled TASER.com, promo code Adam. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Do you have that clip?
Yeah, we're loading it up now.
I didn't hear. How long ago did that happen, Adam?
A couple months ago.
I don't know that much about Big J. What do I need to know?
He's a good guy. He's got the Bonfire on Sirius XM Radio. He's got his podcast that I did, and he's a really good guy.
We've had Dan Soder on before.
Yeah, Dan Soder's on the podcast too.
Why would you attack a guy whose name started with Big?
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it.
By the way, it's poor decision making.
Yes, which means you had to be.
I think he heard that
drunk.
Jay was a boiled guy and he was a fried guy, and this
I'm going to unite this country by cooking my next set of brats on my seat. I'm going to combine this. I'm going to turn this conversation into the greatest Reese's peanut butter cup ever by cooking on my seat.
There you go.
All right, do you have it, Max Zapata?
Yeah, I'll put it up right now.
All right.
Have you flown since all this?
Yeah, I've been flying all the time. I'm going to Florida this weekend. Yeah. You got to wear it. Oh, he pulled him off stage.
Oh, Jesus.
That was pretty dramatic.
So the guy from behind is Big J's friend trying to help. But there's a guy at the bottom of the stage pulling the stool.
Oh, and
the guy in the back came to get him, and the guy pulled the stool, and he went down.
Oh, it looked like somebody ran up and pushed him.
Yeah, that was the guy trying to save him. The guy pulled the stool,
see. Wow.
And that's where he went down. You really got to want Jay to. I mean, this guy really wanted him. That's a big boy. Look at that.
I always love that there's a woman nearby yelling, "Oh my God, what's happening?" By the way, is there ever any reason to yell "What's happening" when you're there? You know what
That's
I mean?
what's happening.
Yeah,
you're looking at it.
What's
you're
happening?
Watching it unfold.
Yes, you of all people should know what's happening.
Take it in so you can tell others.
Yeah. Now, if you're like, I'm in the bathroom and I'm on a walkie-talkie, then you may be able to yell, "What's happening?" But when the Asian doctor's being dragged off the Southwest flight, you don't have to yell, "What's happening?"
Yeah.
You've been there for 40 minutes while the security guys argued with the Asian doctor guy. God, I hope that guy's dead. That would be so nice if that guy's dead. I hate that guy. All right. You know what I think we should do since Adam's here? We should do a double dose of the news. I feel like I haven't gotten enough of Gina Grad and her news the last few episodes. So why don't we take a break and we'll come back and we'll do a double shot of the news with Adam and Bald and Gina Grad.
Give me the news with Grad. News with Gina Grad. Breaking viral, all those crazy Trump tweets. Give me news with Gina Grad. Trouble in the Middle East. Celebrity drunk meltdowns. Deep news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, let's start with some new restriction fun. Now, California, let me back up. We have a color coding system that makes no sense. Red is not even the worst. It's purple. And all counties have now fallen back into the purple tier. So we'll keep you posted on that. But Philadelphia is what's getting all the attention now because officials over there have announced sweeping restrictions on businesses. And, along with the gyms, museums, casinos, libraries, bowling alleys, arcades, theaters. We all know that. Philadelphia restaurants no longer serving anything indoor. Outdoor, you're limited to groups of 4. And I don't know how you prove this, but they must be from the same household. I don't know if you have to bring a utility bill before you order appetizers.
Well,
no idea.
If they're arguing, then they're all from the same household. If they're enjoying their night, well, then they couldn't possibly be from the same place.
I was thinking about that because everything in my life goes back to brunch. And how could I pull this off with my girlfriends? No hugging, no squealing when you see each other. You all have to look like your roommates meeting back up for a meal.
Is no squealing an actual metric?
Are you kidding?
That'd be
Has
great.
your wife ever gone to brunch with?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. No weddings, no funerals, no household visits. This is starting to get a little Nazi Germany. I don't know if they start knocking on doors to find this out. No kind of indoor gathering, public or private, are permitted under the restrictions. No in-person learning or high school or colleges. Outdoor gatherings are limited to 10% capacity or 10 people per 1,000 square feet. And that also means, because there's a cap on large spaces, no more than 2,000 people, which means no fans at the Eagles games. And this goes into effect Friday. It will be in effect until at least January 1st. And they are getting, I mean, they're giving us all a run for our money in the restriction department.
Philly.
Yeah, Philly. People had enough reasons not to live in Philly before this. I think this is going to put them over the top. My dad's from South Philly, and they don't churn out a lot of greats, South Philly.
Rocky.
Fucking
real great.
Boys to Men.
It's true.
Motown Philly.
Yeah, well,
They threw like ice balls at Santa Claus at a Philly game in the 70s.
That's right.
So those Eagles fans are missing out on the first place team.
Yeah.
What about the Fresh Prince?
I know.
Listen, Philly's one of those places that goes from like historical to shithole in 3 blocks. If you ever walk around Philly. The Liberty Bell was founded in 17. I cut you, bitch. Okay, you've gone too far.
And wasn't Philadelphia the place where they sent that cute little robot to see how far he could make it across the country, and it never made it out of like one neighborhood of Philly, and they tagged it and fucked it up and like beat it up? It was just this cute little robot roaming along in his little way.
And remember, Gina, the Fresh Prince was sent out of Philadelphia to avoid his horrible life.
Yeah, I agree. It's never where you're from. Like I always used to say that about Cindy Crawford when I was in northern Illinois at the University of DeKalb doing a show with Dr. Drew. About the 25th time I heard, Cindy Crawford's from DeKalb, I just yelled, "Where's she now?" She left when she was 14. Where she's now, she's blowing a guy in Malibu right now. That's where she is right now. She's no longer in DeKalb.
If it was so great, Kaya Gerber would be in DeKalb.
Yeah, right. The metric to measure success for a city shouldn't be where was this person born. It should be where did they move to when they got smart enough to get the fuck out of where they were born.
Yeah, well, and isn't their mascot named Gritty?
The Flyers, the Philadelphia Flyers.
That's probably a bad sign.
Are you guys familiar with Gritty?
I mean, I am now.
Guys, we could do a half hour on Gritty.
Oh, I know about
Gritty looks like Oscar the Grouch.
I only know about the Fanatic. I don't know about Gritty.
Show a picture of Gritty.
Gritty's the best.
What did he's the Flyers mascot?
I'm 99% sure.
Yeah.
He's in Philadelphia. By process of elimination, he must be the Flyers mascot.
He looks like the Muppet they passed on.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
He looks like quite a social media presence.
He looks like Bruce Valanche.
Gritty, we need you to punch up this script.
Yeah. I'll take Gritty to block, please.
I thankfully have not seen Bruce Valanche in I feel like I saw Bruce Valanche a lot 10 years ago, and I don't feel like I've seen him in a while, and that's a good thing.
I think he looks just like that.
Yeah, he does look like Gritty.
I miss Jim J. Bullock.
Was he a Philadelphia man?
No, but you're talking about fun, winsome gays that we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah. Jim J can't be alive, can he?
Sure.
Yeah, he's 65.
Oh, he is.
Remember Jim J and Tammy Faye? A power duo.
Oh, that's right. What'd they do? Have a daytime?
Yeah. Daytime talk show.
It was a weird era where they would just take people and throw them together and go, we're going to do a daytime talk show. And then it was always, the proclamations were always the same. It's like, anything goes. Oh, boy, we're going to dish. You're no teleprompter here. Hey, by the way, if you're easily offended,
look elsewhere for you.
Yeah, because we ain't going to lie to you. There was always that, and then the show just sucked, right?
Yeah. It's boring. Speaking of data, oh, wow, guys.
Wow.
See? Tell me I'm wrong.
No, that is Bruce Valanche's Gritty. Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of daytime talk shows, some Ellen news. Despite her scandalous year in the tabloids, she won the trophy for the best daytime talk show of 2020 at the E! People's Choice Awards on Sunday. And you'll never guess who she spent a chunk of her time thanking because of everything that went on. This is, I don't know, her speech is maybe 2.5 minutes. This is almost half of her speech.
In my heart, I thank you. I am not only accepting this award for myself, I'm accepting it on behalf of my amazing crew, my amazing staff who make this show possible. They show up every single day. They give 100% of themselves, 100% of the time. That's 250 people times 170 shows a year times 18 years. And if you carry the 2 and divide it by 11. My point is, I love them all, and I thank them for what they do every single day to help that show be the best that we try to make it every single day.
This is basically the husband after he gets busted cheating and the wife lets him back into the house, but he's only been there for 6 days and he's got to give a toast at a wedding. And of course, all of a sudden, Doreen, the love of my life.
My rock.
My rock. I'm like, of course. You have to. You got busted.
That's right.
Of course. Yeah, that's why, but I say don't
sue me.
Say it again. Sorry, Adam.
The subtext of that speech was, please don't sue me.
Right. You can't slather it on too thick. You know what I mean? She who was unkind to her staff for 18 years can't all of a sudden wake up and explain how it's impossible. By the way, when you're talking about your staff, noting that they show up every day, I don't know.
Well, damning with faint praise.
I feel like you could say that about everyone who works at a Costco. You know what I mean? Like everyone shows up. I mean, that's not exactly praise.
My punctual staff.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got, Gina? By the way, where was that?
Yes.
When was that? Was that
That was over the weekend. That was Sunday.
And was it televised?
Yeah. I mean, I think it looked like an internet thing. I checked on the E! Network schedule. I didn't see it. And it was done in an airplane hangar.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah. You can't really tell, you could tell from the cheers and ravenous applause that people were spaced out. And if that was just crew, I don't know. But it was done in just some giant space. And I can't figure out where it was aired. So that's why I thought it was online.
I think I did the first Teen Choice Awards, and I think that was in an airplane hangar at the Santa Monica airport. And I think
surfboard.
I think the MTV Music Awards were at there too. The reason I remember very clearly, because working for MTV was sort of like working for K-Rock Radio, and that K-Rock Radio was huge and MTV was huge, but they did not treat their talent like talent. They kind of kept the man down. And I think the MTV Music Awards, me and Dr. Drew were very popular on MTV at the time. And we said, can we get a couple tickets to the MTV Awards? And they were like, no. And then they finally got us some tickets, and they put us so far up in the bleachers in the back of this airplane hangar that when we sat down, the people in front of us turned and looked like, oh, it's Adam and Dr. Drew. And they were like, yeah. And like, what are you guys going to do? Are you hooked up to a zip line or something? You're going to go down on a harness? I was like, no, these are the seats they gave us. And then I said to the guys in front of me, I think Drew did, he was like, where'd you guys get your tickets? Because they told us we were out of them. It's like, well, we got them today at Music Plus. I was like, oh, awesome. It's weird, right?
Very.
But that's how they do it. Mm-hmm.
That's why now I've been burned too many times where if somebody offers me free tickets to a concert or a comedy show, it sounds like a diva bitch move, but I got to say, thank you so much. Where are those tickets exactly? Because on 2 occasions, at least, I have gone to the window, given my name, said, oh, I'm on so-and-so's list. They've given me tickets that were so bad, I didn't accept them, and I just bought tickets at the window for better seats.
I don't know if you guys have reached this place in your lives or reached at one point this place, but I did Gina, I'm the exact same way. I don't know if it's an age thing. I don't know if it's an LA thing, but if someone invites me to a movie premiere, fuck you. I'm not going to your fucking, I'm not now out of this. If it's like yours, like at the Montalban Theater, that's one thing, but someone's like, hey, this is at the Man Bruin in Westwood. I got tickets. You want, fuck no, never. Last time I made a mistake was like 5 years ago, sat in the front fucking row looking like this. Not only at Hail Caesar, a terrible movie.
A long movie.
I left 5 minutes in.
Brian, Adam, you should know where someone invited Brian to a christening last week, and he had the exact same reaction.
Is it the front pew? I'm not sitting in the front pew. I'm not sitting in the front pew.
Wow. All right. Well, there goes my next conversation. Of course, your name off the list.
Cancel.
I got invited. I went to a premiere. The best premiere I ever went to, red carpet, I had to go to for work, was a day one, because it was at the movie theater right over here in Santa Monica. And it was a day I had, you know how it is. You got to go, you got to get your picture taken, you do your interviews, and then you got to go sit through the movie and go through the bullshit. So I told the guy driving the car, I said, he had an Escalade. I go park in that Carl's Jr. I went down the red carpet, took a picture with my wife, did my interview, walked right into the theater, out the emergency door, into the Carl's Jr. I was home watching football as the movie started.
What movie was it?
It was the John Voight movie. It was the movie John Voight was in. It was the I'm going to say Gone. It's not Gone in 60 Seconds. It was a car movie.
Oh, you better pray it wasn't Gone in 60 Seconds. That's the greatest film of all time.
That one I would have went and gone.
That's a film. You know, it's not that movie because he's calling it a movie. If he's talking about Gone in 60 Seconds, he'd be calling it a film. It's a big difference.
He's looking it up. Well, he does that. Yeah, go ahead.
That was Duvall who was in 60 Seconds.
Voight. Oh yeah, why the hell?
Voight was in Heat, but I don't know if that's considered a car movie.
What name better? Face Off, Nick Cage name, Castor Troy?
Castor Troy.
Or Gone in 60 Seconds, Memphis Reigns?
Memphis.
Isn't our meteorologist here in LA?
That's Dallas, but yeah.
Memphis Reigns is pretty solid.
Getaway, 2013?
2013, Getaway. That was it.
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that was a smooth move on your part. And a lot of us sitting around gaining that COVID-15. I'll tell you who's not doing that. 71-year-old Rudy Cadlub. He's out there breaking world records. He weighs in at 222 pounds. And yes, I'm going to show you what he does. Rudy squatted 430 pounds, benched 303 pounds, and pulled 518 pounds in the deadlift, all without steroids. He's 71. He now holds the records at 198, 220, and 242-pound weight classes. Do you want to see a 71-year-old pull any of those off? Because we have the video.
I don't want to besmirch the man, but he was caught juicing because they found a half-empty Ensure can on his nightstand. So, there's Brian. Brian just showed us his
Brian sold it to him.
I'm getting ready for the 71-year-old record.
Yeah, let's see.
Do you want to see him squat 430 pounds?
Is the record of a man over 65, like it must be, it's not a world record for the amount.
It just shows the weight classes. It doesn't say anything about the age.
It's got to be age.
It's when you're over 200 pounds, that's not, it's a ton of weight or half a quarter ton of weight. But either way, it's got to be in a weight. There has to be some age factored into this because
there's guys at the combine every year in the National Combine to do this.
Right.
Oh, give this guy some credit. You guys are jerks. All right, show this aged fellow what he can do. Here we go. I don't know what's on his neck. Brace.
Fucking gimp.
Wow. Is that Zeppelin?
Yeah. He looks like Master Blaster.
Is that going to California?
Babe, I'm going to leave you.
That's Babe, I'm going to leave you.
Oh, okay.
The guy was like, I want some something new, something peppy.
Some hyped up music.
Something the kids are listening to. Yeah.
I like the bottle of rum he's got right by the weights.
This is a deadlift at 518 pounds.
Oh.
Wow, that's good. That's a lot of weight.
No immigrant song?
Wow. All right, this guy's number one grandpa.
Meanwhile, Meanwhile, I have my 5 and 10 pound weights that I take into the newsroom because it's actually smaller than the room I'm in right now. And Vinny gave me some Tweety Bird's cage exercises because I can't just sit there with my ass hermetically sealed to a chair for 6 hours. So I do my weights, but it's not a deadlift.
What are some Tweety Bird cage type exercises?
Well, the ones that aren't weights are like, standing behind the chair, going up on your tiptoes, and then slowly, as slow as you possibly can, lowering, and it's all about controlling that. So who knew? Slower is better when it comes to weights. You think you're getting a better workout because you're doing it 3 times as fast. No, Vinny had to teach me that kind of thing. And then I do my weights in my seat. So he didn't teach me this one, but there's like the milk jug where you're pouring out of a milk jug. I do the ones behind me because I got the Jewish bingo wings. And I do everything I can with my 10-pound weights because I'm sitting in a chair the whole time.
I'm getting old. And one of the reasons I know I'm getting old, and I don't know if you guys have gotten to this phase of your life where you start counting things as exercise that aren't exercise.
Sure.
Like I'm like, I should work out. And I go, what do you mean? I got stuff out of the car earlier today.
Yeah.
Like, that was
Yes, sir.
Look at my steps. I go, I did the steps.
that was 2 trips and the downstairs.
Oh, yeah. Having a 4-year-old is the ultimate cheat code to working out. Right? You're like, I chased her around the block on her scooter.
I did Super Kid in the air for 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I had a sad old guy realization the other day that Brian will probably remember.
Let's hear it.
Remember one of my favorite characters from the Kevin and Bean show, and you can look this up. Richard Cheese would do this, Dick Cheese, but he didn't do it on his name, but he would do the same guy would do Paul, the 55-year-old intern. Do you remember that character?
It was before my time, but I remember that. Yeah.
It was a funny bit. It was just this guy, this sort of square middle-aged guy, is Paul, the 55-year-old intern. And it was funny when I used to listen to it in 1993, but I realize I'm 56 now. So I'm actually older than the old guy I used to laugh at as the intern. I don't know if any of that stuff's online, or maybe it was a Christmas Elms. I don't know.
I had that with my friend. My friend is 50. He's dating this 20-year-old girl, and he's like, I don't know if it's going to work out. I go, it's not.
Right.
I said, it's not. He goes, well, how could you say? I said, because you're at that age where you start talking about the past, and this girl doesn't have one yet.
Right.
So what are you going to talk to her about? He's like, yeah, maybe you're right.
Where do you meet? Where does he meet a 20-year-old? Do you do it online?
God knows where he be. I think he met this one at the gym. Because when it was open, so
doing those 5-pound weights,
doing those
setting
5-pound
a record
weights
with a squat, yeah.
He's like, hey, are those Tweety Bird exercises?
You know what website I've become obsessed with just knowing that it exists? Are you guys familiar with Seeking Arrangement?
No.
And let me see if you guys are good liars. Are you familiar with Seeking Arrangement?
Afraid not.
Okay. No, I figured you were lying about it. It's basically a sugar daddy website, and because I saw this special on HBO and they featured it, and one guy, can you imagine, ladies, if you're lucky enough to find this guy, he likes to be financially humiliated. So all that means is you just call him and talk dirty, like, I'm going to empty your bank account, and then he buys you a car.
Only women can sign up for this? Yeah, because if things go south with Christy, I'm in a soft landing.
Yeah.
Isn't that the greatest fetish you could ever come up with? I mean, if you're on depending on what end you're on.
All right, Gina, I'm going to play the fella.
Okay.
You play my sugar mama.
I'm the sugar baby.
Now, I've decided you're the mama.
Oh.
It's
a reverse website.
At this point.
Oh, okay.
And you want to be financially humiliated. Let's see. I am going to take your SUV, and I'm going to fill it up.
Oh.
And I'm going to go with 91 octane, even though the manufacturer suggests 87. You know what I like to do sometimes?
Tell me.
I like to walk into your office, turn on the ceiling fan, and then go into another room and take a nap.
Oh, God. Don't stop. Tell me more.
I know you like your cream in a real bottle, a real glass bottle.
No, do I?
And you get a redemption value on that after you rinse it real good.
Yeah.
I take mine and I throw them at the fireplace when I'm done with the cream.
Oh, you talk so dirty.
Yeah. The other thing I like to do is I like to turn the heat on during the winter.
Oh, turn the heat on.
And I'll just go ahead and crack the flue in the fireplace without lighting a fire. So all the hot air.
Tell me what you're going to do to my 401k.
Oh, what 401k?
Oh.
Yeah. I like.
The trial is now over. Please insert your credit card to continue this conversation.
Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get the date on there. Okay. I can't tell the difference between a $2,000 bottle of wine and a bottle of $2 Chuck, but guess who's getting the expensive stuff when we go out to the French Laundry?
Who's getting it?
You, baby.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Are you sending them around to other tables of people we've never met?
Yeah, that's right. I'll be toasting other tables. I also like to order foie gras and not finish it.
Oh, do you take it home in a doggy bag?
No, I'm not taking it. No, wait a minute. I lied. I do take it home, but I forget about it and leave it in the car. And it spoils overnight.
Tell me how many mortgages I have.
Oh, man, you got 3, baby. Yeah. And by the way, I was thinking about refinancing, but the rate is lower than it is now, so I scrapped that mission. Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Can we do this again tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Okay.
I'm right now. I signed you up for the MLB package, and I know you don't even like baseball, but it just rolls over every year. You got to keep paying it.
You are such a dirty boy.
That's right. I'm pretty catch can about closing the refrigerator, too. I'll just sort of slop it. I'll just sort of make a move on it, and then I'll leave. Sometimes it shuts and seals. Oftentimes it doesn't.
Oh, where you can still see the light coming out of the crack.
Yeah. I guess. I'm not in the room.
You would know.
But the room does seem same. I also like to fire up a space heater. My Tootsies get cold.
Because it's the dead of winter, right?
Yeah, but when it gets too hot, instead of turn off the space heater, I turn on the central air.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Yeah, that improv brought to you by the Carolla family. All I have to do is think about all the shit my wife and kids do all day, and I go,
Hey, that came so easy to you.
I know.
There was almost no end.
Yeah.
That entire scene was played out with every light in the house on.
And a special thank you, a special assist from Brian, who texted me a couple of hilarious things.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back with the rest of the news. Oh, we have Paul on 45. We have a medley of songs from, is that Paul singing it?
Yeah, so this is actually, I think, how he may have been introduced as a character. I don't know, but he recorded a single called Paul on 45 for Kevin and Bean, which is a medley of all the K-Rock songs arranged as like swing and big band.
That may be a little more Dick Cheese, but we'll listen to it anyway. We'll take a break. We'll come right back to the rest of the news right after this. Second part of the news, and Max Zapata was able to find the K-Rock song. So this is Paul from 1993. So I used to listen to Kevin and Bean. This is right before I got in with Kevin and Bean and Jimmy. So we'll play this clip. You got the song. It's a medley of K-Rock songs. That's the guy. Oh, speaking of the Chicagoan, that is the guy where Jimmy and I were sitting outside at Carney's Hot Dogs. I love their hot dogs, by the way. But we're sitting out there on Ventura Boulevard, and a car drove down Ventura Boulevard and cut off another car, and the car behind it did one of those honks where they never let up, just
lay on it,
just all the thing. And I whipped my head around, and I said, "That's Mark Davis." And Jimmy went, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, that was him. I recognize this. He had a Honda De La Soul, a green one, like it was a very weird car for a guy to drive." And he went, "Okay, I got it." And then Jimmy called him that night as the crazy, angry man who was in the car behind him. And he's like, hey, motherfucker, I got all your information. What happened to me, what you did to me on Ventura Boulevard at noon today is bullshit. Now I'm coming after you. And, of course, Mark Davis had no other recourse but to believe that guy had his number. What else could you possibly think? That Jimmy and Adam were at Carney's and saw it? And he fucking tortured Mark Davis for weeks about having his number, coming to his house. You better get a deadbolt. I'm coming after you. It was the craziest ruse ever. And it totally bulletproof, because how could you ever think, okay, come on. No one else knows that you cut someone off on Ventura Boulevard except for you and the car behind you.
There's no suspect. There's no motive.
That's it. And
for what you're being told.
Yeah.
Footnote, we've played some Dick Cheese songs on the show before years ago. The later stuff that he released on albums was really good.
Yeah. He's funny. Yeah. His roommate was Lightning at the time, and Lightning, after about 2 weeks of torturing Mark Davis, Lightning's like, I have to tell him. And Jimmy's like, I'll kill you if you tell him. And he's like, I have to live with this guy. He's going insane. He's screaming at me because I didn't lock the downstairs door from the garage. Like he's going insane. I can't live with him anymore. Because Jimmy just called him every day as the crazy motorist who wanted to kill him.
Yeah. So did he ever tell him? Did he ever tell him?
He eventually told him because he couldn't take it. He was having a nervous breakdown. But again, file that under things no woman has ever done to another woman.
Never.
No.
Right?
The worst we'll do is we'll tell the girl who always shows up late to brunch that brunch is 30 minutes earlier, so she shows up on time. And we're like, oh, that was so tricky. That's literally it.
That's it.
Or maybe a surprise party.
I was in a riding with my friend Phil, who's on my podcast. We actually told the story last week or the week before on the podcast. A bunch of people sitting there waiting for their prescriptions, and he's talking to me. I wander into the adult care aisle so they can see us. Mm-hmm. I grabbed the biggest stack of adult diapers, and I just turned to him and I said, what size are you again? Everyone just started looking at him, and he ran because he didn't know what to do. He was embarrassed, and I was chasing him around. I'm like, come on, don't be like that. You said you'd try. We just got new rugs. I'm the one that's got to clean it up. I just kept chasing him around and said he ran from me, and he was hiding in the greeting car.
You gotta lean in.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, so I knew there was only one way out. So I went by the door, and everyone's looking at me. I'm still holding the diapers. So I just burst into tears. I just started crying. And he's got it. And I said, I'm so sorry. I don't know I changed his diet. I don't know what it is. We're under so much stress. And he just comes running out. Maybe. And as he runs by me, I just yelled out, think of the kids. And we just laughed.
Maybe it's the seat heater that did it. All right. What else you got, Gina Grad?
Well, Miami Marlins just hired Kim Ang as their new general manager, making her the baseball's first female and first Asian American Major League Baseball GM. She's 51. She spent decades in baseball, previously working as assistant GM in the Yankees and Dodgers.
First Asian GM.
Yeah.
Shocking.
She's very excited about this. Of course, the Dodgers have had a lot to say about it because she worked out here as well. And big deal. Do you guys consider this a big deal?
Yeah. Asians are kicking everyone's ass, so it's always a little, anticlimactic when they're already doing better than whitey. So but it's cool. I don't know. I'm kind of over all the first. I mean, we have a female vice president. We had black male president for 2 terms. We did it. We're so there now. Nothing's really surprised me. When I was coming up, and not even when I was coming up, I mean, black coaches in the NFL were pretty unheard of. Black quarterbacks were pretty unheard of.
Doug Williams.
I had Doug Williams.
Warren Moon.
I spoke to my son about Warren Moon the other day, where he was going through top 10, all-time passing yards, NFL quarterbacks or whatever, and he said, Warren Moon was like, I don't know, 9th or 10th or something like that. And he said, I would have thought Warren Moon would be higher. And I said, well, Warren Moon played in the CFL for 6 years.
It's prime years.
Right. And it's like, well, why did he play in the Canadian Football League for 6 years? And then I yelled, look over there. And then I turned up the radio real loud and we changed the subject.
Yeah.
No, I said, because they didn't think... They didn't think a black quarterback could play in the NFL. I mean, it had happened a couple of times. Bristow, I think, was one for Denver, and of course Doug Williams and James Harris for the Rams. But there had been a couple examples. But in general, if you're black and you're a great athlete, they'd go, well, we'll put you at tight end or we'll put you at cornerback. And he wanted to play quarterback, so he went to Canada.
What was the thinking behind that? I mean, what
Ask Gallican Panis.
Well, and understandably, it's going to make no sense now, no matter what. But what is the thinking? I mean, because isn't sports all about whoever's best, go do that thing that you're best at?
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. If something is a certain way, it takes a while to undo what is. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like parsley by the side of the plate. Like they did it for 30 years, and then there were 10 years of people going, what do we need parsley for? And then they got rid of it. Like they don't just go, hup, here we go, we're changing. They're like, the quarterback position is a white guy's position, and these are the black guy positions. And they kind of did it that way. And of course, the change happened, but it happened slowly. Now, you look at the NFL, I mean, there's tons of black quarterbacks. There's tons of black coaches. We're kind of there. I'm no longer sort of excited when I hear about this person is playing that, doing that.
Which is a good sign. It's a good sign that you're not excited.
That's right.
Sudden change is called trauma. People need to work into stuff.
Well, speaking of lack of sudden change, combine that, everything Adam said, with a lot of coaches weren't forward-thinking enough to take advantage of the black quarterback's special skill set a lot of the times. Like Lamar Jackson would fail in 1970. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't have that kind of offense.
Well, they never accepted the run-pass option. It was always a college thing.
Yeah, quarterbacks did one thing. They dropped back, with the rare exception, they dropped back on the pass.
Yeah. Although Lamar's not having a fantastic season this year, but
Deshaun Watson or whoever, you know what I mean, like whoever, the guy that can combine all the elements of the position.
the Kyler, what's his name?
Kyler Murray.
That guy's
Kyler Murray.
crushing
Hail Murray. Did you see the Hail Murray yesterday?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I was also explaining to Sonny when he was talking about the Ravens quarterback. He's like, they're kind of onto him. Like he's not really having a great year. I said, this is the beauty of the NFL. A guy has a breakout year, and for some reason, it'll last the entire year. For some reason, they'll get to game 14, and they still won't figure it out or scheme against it. But the next year, everyone's on the same page. And all of a sudden, the same shit the person was doing the year before just somehow isn't working because they've schemed against it. They figured it out. I said, you see the same thing on the defensive side of the ball. There's some defensive outside linebacker who's just getting to the quarterback and crushing everybody and whatever. Then the next season, he has kind of a quiet season. Mm-hmm. Like it takes a year, and it's the ultimate kind of strategy game. It takes a year, but they do. You can't do that to LeBron James. You can't just go, or it's going to shut him down. But football, but Lamar Jackson's a physical phenomenon too, but there's 11 guys. And they've schemed, and they got it figured out now. And he's just not able to get away with what he got away with.
Tape too. He's doing something. Oh, that's what he's doing. Let's do this. We'll put this guy in motion, and there you go. That shuts that down.
Right. Put this guy in motion.
Put this guy in motion. Who's you? Run that way. Why? It does something. It stops him. That's what we need to do.
Sorry, Gina. But yes, we've come a long way, baby. And now we're pretty much there. I'd say we're pretty much there.
Do you guys remember the movie and its many remakes of Freaky Friday?
Mm-hmm. There's a new one out.
I'm getting there. So the first one, of course, with Jodie Foster and Barbara Harris, which I've seen, I don't know, 1,000 times from when I was a kid to now. We got the kid on that one. There was Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. There was a Disney version. You would switch places with the mom, and then, hilarity ensues. Well, there's a new version. The elevator pitch, I'm guessing, was Freaky Friday, but for serial killers. So this version, starring Vince Vaughn, which I imagine was what you were going to say, Brian.
Yeah, it's getting good reviews. I really want to see it. And I also want to see the director's other movie, which got decent reviews, Happy Death Day. I've heard good things. I've heard good things.
I love Happy Death Day. It is fantastic. So, okay, so I could absolutely see this being pulled off now. Well, this makes more sense. It got number 1 at the box office and opened at $3.7 million. It's a horror comedy. It played at almost 2,500 screens. And Vince Vaughn is a serial killer who switches bodies with a teenage girl. I have the synopsis because it's too good not to tell you. 17-year-old Millie Kessler spends her days trying to survive high school and the cruel actions of the popular crowd. But when she becomes the latest target of the Butcher, the town's infamous serial killer, her senior year becomes the least of her worries. When the Butcher's mystical dagger causes him and Millie to magically switch bodies, the frightened teen learns she has just 24 hours to get her identity back before she looks like a middle-aged maniac forever.
Wow.
Oh, this has a November 30th VOD release date. I'm sure you can rent it for $20 or something.
Well, Happy Death Day is fantastic. So I actually have higher hopes for this movie now. This is Freaky Friday Serial Killer Edition.
Well, wait, from the makers of Happy Death Day or from the director?
I'm pretty sure it's the director. I looked it up because I have not seen it.
Yeah, it says right there from the director of Happy Death Day. So she's the serial killer? He's in the body of her and she's a 17-year-old serial killer?
Correct.
So it's Carrie.
Kinda. It's Freaky Friday meets Carrie.
It's funny how the concepts are kind of like they're kind of like food. We're kind of like, it's not enough just to have a slice of pizza anymore. If they're kind of reimagining everything. When I was a kid, the concept with the movie would be, this guy drives a souped-up Charger, and the cops can't catch him. That was the premise. That's the whole movie.
And then what?
What else do you need to know?
How does it end?
He's got a car. He's got a Holly 750 double pumper and some blackjack headers on it, and he's got a good-looking lady, and the cops hate him, and they want to catch him.
There you go. Are they going to catch him? Nope. Cue the bulldozer.
You got to watch.
Boom. He's dead.
You're going to have to see the sequel.
They literally, the premises for these movies are like, this guy and his girlfriend rob a liquor store. Like, that's all they had. That was enough. What
was the name of that one? Like, Bob and Carol go to
I saw this movie in the movie theater, Max Zapata, Aloha, Bobby and Rose. And I'm totally convinced that there's nothing to this movie at all. You can find the trailer. But somehow they spent their entire budget on an Elton John song. And Elton John was like the height of his powers. But think about this, Brian and Adam and Gina.
I want to know what the song was.
Let's just say, oh God,
we played.
We'll get it.
All right.
Here it is.
All right, but here's my whole point. I think what they said was, look, this movie has a $1.5 million budget. Now, we could spend that all on the movie and end up with a piece of shit that nobody cared about, or we could spend $80,000 on the movie and give 1.420 to Elton John. And then we'll just get the one song that everyone likes, and then we'll just put that in the movie, and that'll be enough in 1974. What year is it from, Max Savannah?
75.
75, all right.
Paul Lamont, the boy from American Graffiti, is Bobby. He's got a 68 Camaro.
That's the Who.
That's Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a Camaro, and it's flared.
Takes off.
What? Oh, he's burning out. Oh, there we go.
Diana Hull is Rose. She's got an urge to travel.
She's got an urge to
One
travel.
Saturday night, they became lovers in the city of dreams.
Sunset Strip in Hollywood, USA, home of the stars, baby.
Bobby and Rose, two California kids with a fantasy of paradise.
Take me to Hawaii.
Okay. Let's go.
Aloha,
Dialogue's
Bobby
amazing.
and Rose.
Oh,
A new
man.
kind of love story.
When I was 11, I was like, I've got to see this movie.
0 to 60. Hard sell and heavy metal.
All right.
You know what? You know how like every decade has its way of speaking. You know, like the standard Atlantic when everyone talked like right and forth.
Right.
The 70s has that same because she sounded just like the Billy Jack woman, like
Right.
damn your pacifism.
I just like the guy
breathy.
doing the VO, like Bobby, Rose. They met together. They wanted to do stuff. You can watch.
It was as
for
detailed
money.
as the movie itself.
The fuck movie?
You just
not
wanna
even
go-
about anything.
No, you wanted to go see the movie because of the pieces that were in it. Do you remember, Adam, the movie Heroes with Henry Winkler?
Yeah.
Henry Winkler, Harrison Ford, and it had when Kansas came out with Wayward Son, that was the music. So we had to go see
Again,
the Fonz.
Aloha, Bobby and Rose spent $11 on the actual filming of that. They spent it all on the soundtrack, and then why not just clear it? By the way, there was nothing else to do in 1975. Like, that was enough. You just go, all right, there's Elton John song. Let's go.
That was Bobby Camaro. He used his own car. They didn't have a budget.
That's right.
Footnote to this is also a short-lived era where they would sell, they don't do this anymore, they would sell a movie by talking about the actor's previous movies, like explicitly. Like, you know, Bobby from American Graffiti.
Graffiti.
There, if Chris can find it, this is a little bit of a deep pull. There was a theatrical poster for Staying Alive, I think, or fuck, what was it? It was some reference to Rocky, you know what I mean? Because I think Stallone directed Staying Alive. It's like, now he's fighting for his life or something like that. It was like a direct reference to, you know, this guy from Rocky.
Right. Well, look for that. Let me hit Geico real quick now. Do you rent your home? Well, sure you do, one or the other. Can be hard work owning and or renting. You want to make it easy? How about you bundle? You bundle those policies at geico.com. Makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. And again, it's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around the house. So go to geico.com, get a quote, and see just how much you could save. It's easy at geico.com. That's geico.com. All right, Gina, let's do one more.
All right. Well, let me see here. We love, Adam, on this show, we love auction news. We have a lot of hot auction talk. We've been doing it a lot lately, but there's one, because it's seasonal, that we have to get to. The Rudolph and Santa Claus figures that were used in the Christmas special Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer have sold at auction for a healthy sum. The bidding for the and if you don't remember, and I'm sure you do, we'll show you the picture. Bidding for the figures soared past the projected sale. They thought it was going to go for between $150,000 and $200,000. And at the Icons and Legends of Hollywood auction held in LA, I'm just going to tell you, because I've given you a lot of hints, the pair of the little Santa and the little Rudolph sold for $368,000.
I wonder, I'll play the role of my mom. Who would need a Santa Claus for, what would you do with it? I mean, you can't use it.
Not wrong.
Who has so much money that
I'll
they...
be my mother now. I just want the friggin' money for Christmas. How about that, Santa?
How big are these figurines?
I'll tell you. The Santa is actually 11 inches tall. And Rudolph is 6 inches. And they were made in Tokyo of wood, wire, cloth, and leather. They're still malleable. Rudolph's nose still lights up. Santa's beard is made from yak hair. And the buyer's not identified, probably because he's ashamed.
He's on Megan's list.
That's right.
The seller was Peter Lutrario, 65-year-old in New York, who told the AP that he thought he thought he would never part with these dolls, but he wanted to take care of his kids and his grandkids. So that's a nice little gift for them of $368,000.
Hustle with money in an IRA.
Tessa was super into this holiday cartoon. Watching it
really?
again.
How much?
Oh my God!
How much did they get for the Charlie in a box? That one's
Charlie in a box.
right.
That's right.
Right.
You ever heard of a Charlie in the box? But the fun fact: Rudolph in this scene when he's a baby is the offspring of Donner, one of Santa's reindeer. Donner's wife's name, Mrs. Donner.
Oh, yeah.
They couldn't even give her a goddamn name. It couldn't be Dawn.
When I played Pop Warner football, my sister was Carolla's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up that way.
You know, white quarterbacks, women knowing their place. It was a simpler time, you know?
The salad days.
For under $300,000.
That's right. All right, let's bring it home, Gina.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Chris, that's the poster I was talking about. There it is, Stallone. This time he's fighting for his life. It was First Blood. I got that wrong, but they would market movies based on the actor's previous roles.
Yeah. Last but not least, Simply Safe. That's right, Simply Safe. Everyone wants to keep their home secure. No long-term contracts, no hidden fees. You get a free home security camera when you purchase a Simply Safe system at simplysafe.com/Adam. All right, let's see. Adam, you can listen to his very funny stand-up album, It's Scary in Here, available on Spotify, Pandora, and anywhere you get music as well. And check out the podcast, the Adam Ferrara podcast. I'm going to be at West Palm Beach, Florida at the Improv this weekend, Friday, Saturday, 2 shows, Friday, 2 shows Saturday. And we'll do a Reasonable Doubt matinee show on Saturday as well. So you can go to AdamCarolla.com for all the tickets you want. And until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Adam Ferrara and Gina Grad and Paul Bryan saying mahalo.